It's the SKOR North Twins Show.
All right, SKOR North Twins Show, an extra innings episode. Happy Friday to you from wherever you may be. Declan Goff here, giving you some clubhouse updates. Carlos Correa back from the concussion list. The latest plans with Byron Buxton. Plus, what else? Whatever other things that I've been hearing. Had a nice chat with Ryan Jeffers. I might save some of the bones of that for a full Twin Show with Mackie, Jed, and Plouffe. But if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twin Show YouTube channel. Thank you to everyone who has helped us get over 5,000 subscribers. We're going to continue chugging along, so thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Friday here on the SKOR North Twin Show. Or if you're listening to this on the podcast side, thank you too. On Apple, Spotify, the SKOR North app. We really appreciate all of our supporters and listeners. So Twins are opening a 3-game series against their division rival, the Kansas City Royals, here this weekend at Target Field before they hit a lengthy road trip. And a long road trip, man. They're gonna be flying all over the place, basically. Tampa Bay, Seattle, Oakland, Sacramento. But lengthy road trip coming up, but right here in front of them, a big 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals. So if you guys have any questions, too, feel free to drop them in the YouTube side, either live here on it or afterwards on it. If you want anything else answered throughout the duration of this series and whatnot, I'll be here on Sunday, too, to break things down as well. So good news, Carlos Correa is back with the Twins. So he missed exactly the 7 days. He was eligible to return on Friday. The Twins optioned Ryan Fitzgerald back to St. Paul yesterday. The Saints had a doubleheader, so they need as many bodies as they can get. So Mickey Gasper was the extra man, so that's an easy swap. He goes back down, but then Ryan Fitzgerald, who was up here due to the injuries to Correa, etc., he was sent back, and then Correa is back here today. He's in the starting lineup. He's playing shortstop. I will say it kind of feels like even though he's cleared, he cleared his concussion test, I believe, earlier this week on Wednesday. However, they're going to be a little bit of day by day here. Like, Correa thinks he's a full go, but he certainly doesn't want to take for granted anything that could happen here. This was his first concussion he has ever suffered. So I know we were trying to figure that out on a previous episode. Has he had one before? But Carlos Correa, this is his first ever concussion. And, you know, he's never dealt with one. And, I mean, I've had a minor concussion. They're no fun. Of course, I'm not trying to play baseball either. But, you know, his symptoms included dizziness, headaches. He said for 2 to 3 solid days. He said he just kind of felt a little weird, which that's normal if you get your bell rung like that. And then he started slow and kind of ramping up, and he feels like he's a full go. Now, I think Carlos is, and he acknowledged it too, that he's certainly going to listen to the training staff with Nick Paparesta. He'll listen to Rocco and chat with Rocco Baldelli with how he wants to go about things. But with it being his first concussion, they obviously are going to kind of take it slow with him for maybe a little bit. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, hey, maybe Correa's in the lineup today and not tomorrow, right? Like, and again, I know Twins fans have the PTSD of Mauer catches a night game, he can't catch a day game. The Twins now have options, right? I mean, this is kind of the first time that Correa, Royce, Lewis, Brooks Lee, Cody Clemens, Jonah Bride, like, they can kind of mix and match that infield. Brooks Lee being the more optimal one to be the starting shortstop if Carlos Correa does get a day off, either that's at DH or just a day off entirely. But Correa said he is now a full go, which is good. And over the last, but the injury was obviously terrible timing, because it really felt like Correa was starting to put things together before that concussion took place. In the last 15 games before it, hitting 316, slugging 401, 404. I know that the slugging wasn't high necessarily, but I mean, at least he's putting the bat in the ball, right? I mean, he was below the Mendoza line for such a stretch of this season. He started to put things together at the plate. So we'll see where his game is at after being off for a week and suffering his first concussion. It was also the first time Correa was able to address kind of what happened in that collision, right? It was a freak situation. So Correa said that the ball, or the sun all day that day, was like hidden behind the clouds, like it wasn't that sunny. But during that half inning where the concussion took place, the sun was out and he was backpedaling. He said basically the sun blinded him. And by the time he heard Buxton say, I got it, And you saw him kind of, on the telecast, you saw him brace for impact. And he wasn't necessarily bracing for Buxton. He was bracing to back up, thinking that Buxton was going to come in the other way. I think if you remember, if we look at it right, like he was kind of moving back towards his left shoulder, and then he was going to figure that Buck would come in over that and not hit the collision. And so he kind of blamed the ball being in the sun, not hearing Buxton until it was too late. So that was kind of the explanation of what happened there on why Correa and Buck had that collision. But Correa is back in the lineup for the Twins. We'll see how he feels, and we'll see where he is at long term. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he only plays in 2 of the 3 games here to start, as they kind of maybe ramp him up. He's hitting cleanup. He's playing shortstop on Friday night's game. So a big one for the Twins. And obviously they need to gain some ground here on the Royals, who already have a 3-1 lead on them in the series. So hopefully the Twins are in a good spot where they can obviously get their superstar back. On Byron Buxton, a little slower in his return. So Buck is doing sprints. They have ramped up some of the baseball activities. He did ground base running. That was the report we got. Ground base running, not sprinting, but just kind of slowly ramping up the baseball activities here before they assess and figure out where he is at. It's too early to project when he would be back with the Twins, but with Buck having a history of concussions, they're taking their time. They're making sure they are not rushing a guy that has concussion history. So, Buck might be a little bit of a ways out. I don't want to have that necessarily as the timeline. I'm not giving you that, but be pretty surprised if he leaves with the Twins after this homestand. But of course, with concussions, you feel really good one day and then it's a problem the next. So Buck is slowly coming along. They'll ramp up those baseball activities. Maybe he joins them at some point on this road trip, or maybe it just makes more sense with the big one that they have coming up here against 3 teams, that he sits this one back and the Twins weather it without him. Of course, they want their star center fielder in there, but Byron Buxton slowly coming along here a little bit. Hopefully he's in a good spot with those concussion history, because it's obviously never good when Buck, who has a history of them, could be out a longer time. What else we got here? So I did talk with Rocco, and I talked with Ryan Jeffers a little bit today, just about Jeffers at the plate. He's their leadoff hitter. Of course, they are playing a lefty on Friday night. When that happens, it's very normal that Jeffers is either DHing or catching or and near the top of the lineup. But I mean, he's having a great month here. Just in the last 7 games, he has 10 hits in 27 at-bats. It's good for almost a 400 average. In the last 30 games, though, like big sample size period, you're talking about a dude who's slashing 287, 390. I mean, getting on base a ton, 14 walks in 30 games, and also, having some extra base hits. He's got 3 home runs. He's slugging 455. I asked Rocco if anything has kind of stood out, because this isn't a surprise to see someone like Ryan Jeffers have the success at the plate that he's having right now. There was a stretch kind of actually around this time last year where in the middle of mid-May, he was their best hitter in their lineup, at least statistically. And then he just it was very streaky for him the rest of the year. In 2023, he had a great year at the plate. So it can kind of dive up and down a little bit. And what Rocco's really liked is about his approach, and his approach kind of in all facets of the game. And his preparation pregame is very particular. The game is kind of being executed properly, is the way Rocco phrased it. And when you have a guy who's playing that well and also at a demanding position in catcher where it can obviously catch up with you, Jeffers does get some DH days. They've given him more at-bats, obviously, this year. They made that decision kind of near the end of their slow start, where they realized, he's clearly a better option than Christian Vasquez, and we can't just keep rotating these guys every day. So he's having a great season at the plate. That torpedo bat he's been using. I did ask him about trying to get some knowledge of what makes that bat successful, because that barrel is on the inside, and I asked if you get something on the inner half of the plate, do you have a better chance of barreling up that ball? And he said you have a better chance of hitting it hard. And even if you kind of miss the spot or miss the pitch you're looking at when it's on that inner side, you have a better chance of that ball getting off the bat harder and hotter, which is something that if you look at the exit velocity for Ryan Jeffers this year, he's hitting the ball harder, man. He's barreling up balls at a very high percentage, hitting balls at 4 miles an hour harder than he did all of last year, hitting balls really, really hard. So he's having a nice year. There are some things he's done also in his own approach that are going to be interesting. I want to bring that up with Plouffe and Mackey and Judd on Tuesday, so I'll kind of save some of those other notes that I was able to get. But he's having a great start to the year here, and hopefully he can continue it. Matt Wallner, who had 2 home runs yesterday in his rehab game with the Saints. They played 2 games. He hit 2 home runs at DH. He, I believe, is in the lineup again here for St. Paul on Friday night. I know I'm recording this on Friday night, and there might be a good amount of people who are consuming this by the time that St. Paul Saints game wraps up. But he is back in the lineup again right now, still DHing. Really no point to have him on the field. They want to see where he is at right now. But DHing again with the Saints. I think there was an initial report, even Matt even said it himself earlier in the homestand, that he's going to just play this weekend and then be activated for the road trip. Talking to some other people in the organization, I don't know if that's exactly the plan yet for Matt Wallner. We'll wait and see. Now, of course, injuries can dictate that, but I don't think it's for certain that someone like Matt Wallner is going to be on the active roster by the time they leave town here on Sunday. We'll wait and see. That still could be the case, but they're still going to be waiting around for that for just a little bit longer. But Wallner's getting closer, which is good, and the Twins are getting closer here too to have their more optimal lineup. Buxton's on the IL still right now, but they get Wallner back. Well, now you're closer to having your full-fledged lineup, and that makes difficult roster decisions, right? I mean, Cody Clemens is playing great. Jonah Bride's played admirably, and honestly above admirably, to be honest, with what he's been able to bring to the Twins. And Rocco said in the pregame on Friday that they wouldn't be where they are, especially during that winning streak, if it wasn't for the contributions of guys like Jonah Bride and Cody Clemens. So, when Wallner comes back, we'll kind of see what they end up doing. Is that Kersey going down? That very well could be. His glove's been important to them, but I mean, his bat is kind of borderline unplayable at this point. That there's gonna be some tough roster decisions. And then when Buxton comes back, what do you do, right? Like, you're gonna have to face some tough ones here. I'm very curious to see what happens, but hey, we gotta, basically as manager says it, gotta go a day at a time. But the Twins are getting closer to having their full-fledged lineup back, which is something that they certainly need. So those are all good things. Correa back, Buxton progressing, but still probably a little bit of a ways out. Matt Wallner hitting the ball well with the Saints, also hitting the ball well with the Saints. I know we talked about Gabriel Gonzalez on the last podcast. He got called up, which was good. He was the prize piece of that Jorge Polanco trade, and he had a nice start in High A. And there's a lot of guys in High A that are, hitting very well right now. But Emmanuel Rodriguez is also putting things together after kind of a slowish start, I'd say, with the Saints. But now really, he went deep yesterday. Starting to hit the ball a lot better recently, which is good. I still envision, he's a call away, so it could happen tomorrow. But we'll probably still see Emmanuel Rodriguez. The on-base skills are there. He has a 380 on-base percentage already this year, and the power's been there. I wouldn't say he's completely 3 true outcome because his eye's pretty good, but he does strike out a lot. He hits for power, and he does draw walks. So I'm curious to see how that skill set translates to the big leagues. But it should be exciting to see him here when he does get up here. But good things for Emmanuel Rodriguez. And then David Festa, who has missed almost the last 3 weeks here with arm fatigue. He is back on the mound too with the St. Paul Saints on Friday. So I know Zebby Matthews will get the ball here with the Twins on Saturday. But Festa, good news, had some arm fatigue, but back on the mound, and he'll make his start with the Saints in St. Paul on Friday. So good things, good news here on the SKOR North Twins Show. We'll see obviously what happens with the Twins and Royals here this weekend at Target Field. Then the Twins have that lengthy road trip. I know I detailed it on a Dex Plan 2.0, 3.0. I don't know how many I've done this year. But this is a wonky trip where they go as far as you possibly can. After this with the Kansas City Royals, they will hit the road and they'll be at 3 in Tampa Bay. Then they got to fly. Granted, they do get the built-in off day, and this is huge. Then they fly to Seattle. So they go from Tampa all the way up to Seattle for 3 games, and then 4 in Sacktown, Sacramento, with the Athletics. So, a very important road trip there for the Twins. I believe it's their longest of the season. I don't believe they have another 9 or 10 gamer. They don't have one in the first half, but it is, I believe, their longest road trip to date, and potentially their longest of the season. But a big one for the Twins here. They got to take 2 of 3 from Kansas City again. Rocco touched on when you already kind of when you're behind the 8 ball against your divisional teams. Do you force yourself, or do you try to make more difficult decisions to win the game and to put yourself in spots where you have to win this game? And Rocco said, I try not to do that on May 23rd. If this is late August or September, different story. But right now, the Twins, Guardians, and Royals are all 5 games back. So they're all bunched together here. Cleveland, they continue to find ways to win games. It's amazing. They have a negative 10 run differential, but they're 5 games over 500. The Twins, have a 42 better run differential than Cleveland. They have the same record because that's what the Guardians do, man. So 2 out of 3 from Kansas City would be huge. A sweep would be ginormous. I mean, that would obviously put the Twins back ahead in the season series because being 1-3 already is a difficult spot. So, yeah, a big weekend series here for the Twins. Appreciate everyone, too, that has supported the SKOR North Twins Show. And by the way, you can support one of our sponsors in Rula. Rula is a great place if you're looking for some therapy and you're looking to improve your mental health. I did therapy. It was a very important part of my life once upon a time. And also the good thing with Rula is it's affordable. The average copay where they take most insurance plans is only $15 per session. So you get the quality care you need when you need it at a price you can afford. So head on over to rula.com/twinshow. It's in the comments section in our bio too. That's Rula, RULA.com/twinshow. It helps support the show, and it helps obviously support you if you're looking to better yourself in that mental health journey. But yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Thank you, everyone. I love doing this. This is a lot of fun. I know it's a Friday night, and you're probably even driving up maybe to the cabin, or you got plans for Memorial Weekend. Hope you guys are staying safe and having a fun weekend. I'm glad I can provide you some Twins news here and there. So be back here on Sunday. We have a lot of things happening at SKOR North. The Wolves are here. Also, the Twins supporting their pups. Almost every single player today on Friday was representing. They had Wolves gear on. Royce Lewis had a cut-off Wolves hoodie. Everyone wearing either like the neon green Wolves stuff. It was pretty cool to see. So they're supporting their obviously crosstown team. We're here at Target Center. The Twins are playing on Saturday at 1 o'clock. The Wolves home on Saturday night. So should be a hopping place. If you're around Minneapolis, come to the ballpark, and then also stay around and go to Target Center for Wolves and Thunder. We'll see what happens there. We'll be live to break that down as well. Kyle Teige, Judd Zulgad from the stadium. I think Judd's planning for a double dip. I have some things I got to do on Saturday, so I will not be at the game Saturday afternoon for the Twins, but we'll be back here on Sunday to recap this series on extra innings on the SKOR North Twins Show. So if you haven't, hit that like button and subscribe button. Thank you so much for everyone who has support things. Anything you want to hear about, I'm always open ears. You can also tweet me at Dex's Tweets. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm trying to be better at it. I don't what's it called, skeet? I don't skeet there enough. I do not go on Blue Sky enough, as I probably should, but that's something you want to see. And I'm guessing someone will clip what I just did and embarrass me on the internet. So, SKOR North Twins Show. My name's Declan Goff. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you. We'll be talking at you soon.